Vistam Stapidam Rupam Ramayam Sudanti Padantiyam Madhyam Shri Guru Shri Sapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shivapam Sagrajalam Sagana Raghunathan Vidam Samsajivam Sadvaitam Sabadudam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Shakanvitam Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagadpati Gopesha Gopiya Kanda Radha Kanda Namaste Taptakanjana Urangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Harim Puriyem Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Garuti Senamade Namo Brahmane Namo Brahmane Devaya Om Brahmane Daya Cha Jagadidaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Uttavaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. I just messaged Karthik Prabhu to join. I think he should join. Okay. Hare Krishna. So we're continuing with fourth chapter. In the last Wednesday class, we saw about 5 slokas in which Krishna was specifically emphasizing on an important point that no karma affects him. That karma is not part of his whatever activities that Krishna does. It does not bind him. And somebody who knows this knowledge, somebody who understands that, he will be liberated. So that's the sloka he mentioned. And then after that, he specifically mentioned, whomsoever understood this knowledge, whomsoever got this knowledge, they applied and they were able to go. So Krishna is giving 2 aspects to it. One is understanding the knowledge and applying that knowledge, right? So that is where we left in the sloka. And today's section, we will specifically go into the karma portion, like what is meant by karma and how does karma affect anybody, and then how do generally people move from one particular way of understanding the karma to the next level of activity. So that is where it is important. So we'll go into this section, Kim Akarmitika. So all this particular specific section, and most importantly, this chapter will give you the knowledge or the gyan or the understanding by which how we will be able to perform akarma. Okay. So how do we perform the karma from 20th sloka to 24 or 25? Almost 6 to 7 slokas. He will specifically focus on this aspect of performing akarma. Okay. People know what is vikarma. People know what is karma because that is dealt very detailed in the 3rd chapter and the 2nd chapter about karma kanda, nishkama karma and sakama karma. But more importantly is beyond the sakama karma, beyond the karma kanda, how do we perform the akarma portion. Okay, so that is where Krishna gives from almost from 16, 17, 18 sloka onwards till 25th sloka, almost 10 slokas, is focusing mainly on this portion of performing akarma. Here he is not mentioning anything about devotional service. Here he will focus on knowledge with karma. I'm channelizing or I'm changing my karma activities with the knowledge. How do I do it? For example, in 20th sloka, he will say without attachment. And then 21st sloka, he will talk about what is specifically required for living and how do we do without envy. All those specific points we will see today. Okay. I think we should continue from 16th sloka onwards. So this is where we left yesterday in the last class. Evam yatva kritam karma purvai api mumukshubhihi. Okay, purvai purvataram iti kritam. So the purvai purvataram means all the precedents, whomsoever they just followed whatever the understanding of my knowledge and they perform their duty. So most importantly, knowledge with the duty, and you have to do following. You have to do their footsteps. So he is giving a very specific indication. You have to follow your ancestors in terms of understanding this knowledge and performance of the duty together. Arjuna is therefore here advised to act in Krishna consciousness, following the footsteps of Lord's previous disciples. So Prabhupada is wonderfully bringing this word previous disciples. Okay. So here Krishna just mentions about Purvai Purvataramidam. So who are they? They are actually Lord's previous disciples, which means all that we are trying to follow is the same path. Okay. Okay, let's go. Yeah, please read. Mataji, anybody? Okay,
Hare Krishna.
good.
Prabhuji, go ahead, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam. Text 16. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavyo api
Kavayo.
atra mohitah tatte karma pravarkshyami yajnatva mokshyase ashubhat. Kim, what is karma, action? Kim, what is a karma in action? Iti, iti thus, kavyah, the intelligent, api also, atra, in this matter, mohitaha, bewildered, tat, that, te, onto you, karma, work, pravakshyami, I shall explain, yat, which, jnanatva, knowing, mokshyase, be liberated, asubhat, from ill fortune. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Translation. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what in action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all sins. Purport. Yeah, purport. Actions in Krishna consciousness has to be executed in order with the examples of previous bona fide devotees. This is recommended in the 15th verse. Why such actions should not be independent will be explained in text to follow. To act Krishna consciousness, one has to follow the leadership of authorized persons who are in a line of disciplic succession as explained in the beginning of this chapter. The system of Krishna consciousness was first narrated to the sun god. The sun god explained it to his son Manu. Manu explained to his son Ishvaku, and the system is current on this earth from that very remote time. Therefore, one has to follow in the footsteps of previous authorities in the line of disciplic succession. Otherwise, even the most intelligent man will be bewildered regarding the standard actions of Krishna consciousness. For this reason, the Lord decided to instruct Arjuna in Krishna consciousness directly. Because of the direct instruction of the Lord to Arjuna, anyone who follows in the footsteps of Arjuna is certainly not bewildered. Yeah, Prabhuji.
It is said.
Okay, so clear. So what is this sloka? How to perform akarma is the topic today. How to perform akarma. First point, what Krishna is saying. What is his first point? Just follow the footsteps of previous disciples. That's all. So you don't have to invent something new. You don't have to create something new and say, oh, this is akarma, I have changed this now. Just to follow previous discipleship section, you will become, whatever action that you do is akarma. People will ask, how do I convert my this activity to that activity? I'm working, I am doing this activity. For example, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a district magistrate, but still he was performing all akarma activities only. So like that, if you start, even Prabhupada himself was a great grahastha. Almost what I say, Mahaprabhu's disciples, most of them were grahastha, from a grahastha only. So people always have that understanding and telling, oh, only after you, either you be in brahmachari ashram or in sannyasa ashram only will be able to do perform akarma. No, not like that. Okay, so we need to see how Krishna also beautifully brings out performing akarma through these examples. Okay, so first example, first definition is just follow the previous disciple. So even the great Kshatriyas, whatever you see in Bhagavatam also, Bhagavatam deals with various kind of devotees. But most of the devotees are either in the Grahastha ashrama and in the Kshatriya or in the other ashramas only. Nobody is kind of sannyasis mentioned specifically there, right? So that where we can understand how important that perform akarma in the Grahastha ashrama with the different types of varnas is very clear. Okay, let's go. And most importantly, what Krishna is saying, even the intelligent are bewildered. Okay. So we might think, oh, which is correct, which is incorrect. I'm very confused, right? So Krishna himself gives that this one. All that you have to do is just follow them. Even the intelligence are bewildered. So we don't have to apply our material intelligence or finding out whether this is correct or that is correct. Just follow others. That's all. Okay. Mohitaha, they are already in a bewildered state. We ourselves are in a bewildered state, right? So very important. Okay, that's cool. Please read. I'll call out. No. Hemambar Prabhu, please read, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Karmano hi api bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. Synonyms: karmana, of work, he, certainly, api, also, bodhavyam, should be understood, bodhavyam, should be understood, cha, also, vikramanaha, of forbidden work, akarmana, of inaction, cha, also, bodhavyam, should be understood, gahana, very difficult, karmanaha, of work, gati, entrance. Translation: the intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Purport: if one is serious about liberation from material bondage, one has to understand the distinctions between action, inaction, and unauthorized actions. One has to apply oneself to such an analysis of action, reaction, and perverted actions because it is very difficult subject matter. To understand Krishna consciousness and action according to its modes, one has to learn one's relationship with the Supreme. That is, one who has learned perfectly knows that every living entity is an eternal servitor of the Lord, and that consequently one has to act in Krishna consciousness. The entire Bhagavad Gita is directed towards this conclusion. Any other conclusions against this consciousness and its attendant actions are vikarmas, are prohibited actions. To understand all this, one has to associate with the authorities in Krishna consciousness and learn the secret from them. This is as good as learning from the Lord directly. Otherwise, even the most intelligent persons will be bewildered. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. So this sloka is very clear. The Krishna himself is mentioning it is very difficult. Okay, both of them means how to understand, right? So it is very difficult to understand between vikarma, karma, and karma. Okay, but what Prabhupada is the intricacies of action. Prabhupada is giving a very nice subtle way of identifying. How to do it? One has to learn two things. Krishna Prabhupada is giving. You have to perform an analysis of action and reaction. Then only you will be able to understand whether it is an action, reaction, action. How to perform an analysis of an action is very important. Okay, and its subsequent reaction is what Prabhupada is telling. Okay, and subsequent reaction. Okay. And then what Prabhupada, the second point is saying, one has to learn one's relationship with God so that he knows what is the relationship. So what is the, how to perform akarma, do analysis and the subsequent reaction. How to do akarma, understand the relationship with the Supreme Lord. Okay. So any other conclusion against this consciousness is leading to vikarma only. Okay. Continue. Let's continue. Yeah, please read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Go ahead, Sri Ram Prabhu.
Just want to clarify the distinction between action, inaction, all that actions. So in general, action is, I mean, we need to perform as per what we are supposed to do, right, Prabhu? I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, correct.
And inaction and authorized action. What is the difference between these two? Inaction and authorized
Inaction is
action.
akarma. See, inaction here means that doesn't give any reaction. It's called as inaction. Okay. Karma, akarma, and vikarma, right? So what Krishna is saying, karma is directly performing action, you will get good results. Vikarma, bad results. Inaction is you are actually performing it, but that doesn't give any kind of, it is kind of void or null, where the reaction is completely removed or taken care.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
That means even karma is giving good action. That is also not recommended. Only akarma is recommended.
Correct. Correct. So if you go through, maybe we'll just finish this and come back. Maybe then you will get an idea. See what is performance of karma? It is as per scriptures. Everybody are doing karma perfectly. Like you are born in a varna, you are following certain ashrama, and you are doing your duty as per your dharma, your swadharma, and your principle. It is perfect, no issues. It gives you a lot of pious credit. It gives you a lot of good things where you will be born with a lot of material benefits. You will be happy. You will be born in a rich royal family, and then you will be able to go to Swargaloka. You will be go to whatever lokas and all. All those things will happen. But what is the real purpose is it is not fulfilling the real purpose because again and again we are in this material world. Second is vikarma. It is opposite to karma, which means performance of action against the religious principles. It is impious, which will lead to papam, which will lead to suffering, which will lead to all kind of difficulties, everything. And again, it is within the cycle only. There's no doubt about it. But the third one is difference between first and third is what? Yes, I am following the principles. I am following the rules and regulations. I am getting the injunctions. But however, I will not I will not do it with much attachment for my sense gradation. I will give the results to Krishna. I will not do it. I will do it without envy. Okay, I will follow the previous acharyas. I will ensure I will do a proper analysis of that particular karma so that it is not binding me. I will not be too much attached. So those principles, if you follow, the same karma will become an akarma. And then it will take us back to the Godhead, or it will not give us any kind of either a credit or a debit. That's all. Our balance should be zero balance. Okay, that is what's most important.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That akarma is nothing but devotional service. No, means like when we do devotional service, that is akarma.
Correct.
When we do something for God, it's akarma, no? Okay.
Correct.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So in the next two sections, he'll talk about yajna, dhana, and tapasya in the 14th chapter, and then in the 17th chapter, very detailed understanding about how to perform dhana, how to perform yajna, how to perform all the other aspects in different modes. So that mode-wise, it is a matrix between the three different modes. The sattva-guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna, karma, vikarma. So all three will be kind of combined. We need to see how it gets encompassed. Then you will be able to get a clear understanding. Okay, same dhanam, if you perform with rajoguna, it becomes more of karma and this also. If you do it with the tamoguna, it mostly leads to vikarma. So like that, there is a combination between the gunas and then the three types of karmas. Okay. Okay, let's continue. This is a very nice line. The sense of eternal servitorship to Krishna makes one immune to all sorts of reactionary elements of work. So once we are always thinking about whatever work I do, it is just for the pleasure of the Lord. So I'm not very much attached to it. So you don't have to worry. It becomes immune to all kind of reactions. So any karma, you will have a reaction. Okay, whatever be it good or bad, everything will have a reaction. So we need to see how much of, because we have been carrying this baggage of prarabdha karma for many millions of years, right? Then I'll talk about, I don't know whether it is there in this particular thing. Okay. Maybe in the next class, I'll talk about, maybe during the break time, I'll take about what is prarabdha karma, sanchita karma, and the karma. So that you know the baggage of karma that we carry is prarabdha, and whatever we are performing now will become sanchita. Together, it will go to the next one. So some of the karma's reactions will get dissolved or consumed in the current birth. some will keep carrying for millions and millions, and then at some point of the time, the reaction will get. For example, now you may not have done anything bad, but still you are suffering. Why? Because of the past karma. And whatever we do now, it may have the reactions in this birth itself, or it may take it to the next birth also. So even for that purpose, at least we should be very clear or very careful in performing our karma. Okay. Whether we are getting liberated is a secondary aspect, but we need to be very cautious in performing our karma. The third most importantly about the karma philosophy is about not only affecting our own lives, it will affect the generations that come from our santati. Our santati means our lineage. Okay, so that is why the karma philosophy, even though it is a little fearful, but we need to be very cautious. Because, for example, if you go to any astrologer or any person, they will simply say, you have not satisfied your forefathers, or forefathers might have not done something properly. Okay, which is unfortunate situation. We may not know, but we are suffering, right? And somebody might question, how is it possible? But that is the fact. Okay, that is how it is structured. Okay, so that is why Krishna himself is saying the laws of karma is not that easy to understand. It is complicated, but all that we have to see is how do I this one. And Krishna gives a final solution. Okay, Bhasmasat Kurute Arjuna. When you start worshipping Krishna, all the reactions of karma is Bhasma. Bhasma means it will be completely burnt into ashes. Okay, so that is what Prabhupada is telling us. Just follow it. Don't worry about whatever is happening to us. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, please read. Anybody? Hare Krishna. Otherwise, I'll read. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjita jnanagni dagda karmanam tam aho panditam buddhaha. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker, for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge, Dagda Karmani. Only a person in full knowledge can understand the activities of a person in Krishna consciousness. Because the person in Krishna consciousness is devoid of all kinds of sense gratifying propensities, it is to be understood that he has burned up the reactions of his work by perfect knowledge in his conscious position as an eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is actually learned who has attained to such perfection of knowledge. Development of this knowledge of eternal servitorship to the Lord is compared to fire. Such a fire, once kindled, can burn up all kinds of reactions. Okay, so as I mentioned in the section, one has to understand to be in full knowledge whose every endeavor is devoid of. So, how to perform akarma? Devoid of sense gratification. Okay, yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varachitaha. The word kama sankalpa. We should be like either we are very determined. Yes, I have to do it. I have to somehow get my sense gratification complete. Means then it will be this one. But how do we? Jnana agni dhagda karmanam. So with the knowledge you bhasmasad, you put it into fire. Everything will burn out, right? So you will be knowing. So who has done all the perfect tamahu pandidam buddhaha. So the learned pandits have that way. So all that you have to do perform akarma is just ensure your karma is devoid of all the desire for sense gratification. This is the fourth point. Okay, first point was, what was the first point? Follow the footsteps. Second point was do an analysis of the action and reaction. Third is understand the relationship between the Lord and yourself as a servant. Fourth is devoid of desire of sense gratification. Okay. You want to read?
Hare Krishna.
Previous that, sorry Prabhuji, that the action, that karma that we do devoid of sense gratification, how do we understand in our current life? I mean, even though we don't think that we are doing it for sense gratification, thinking about family and all of that stuff, but it's still some kind of, I mean, sense fulfillment, I would say.
Yeah, there will be some sense fulfillment. There's no doubt about it. But when we go beyond a certain point, we will know whether it's a greed and envy coming or it is just for fulfilling the. So you will be able to understand. For example, you go, you take, you want to eat or you want to get some fame. So the moment you think about it, the senses will start invoking the desire, and it will create the action and the reaction. It will create the actions to perform. It will create the plan to perform an action. But when you start putting your intelligence, then those actions will will change. Oh, no, no, no. Yes, I have to fulfill my tongue. I have to fulfill my my skin, my this one. But still, I will be able to perform this only with this kind of an action. I will still continue to perform an action, but I'm modifying my action so that senses are satisfied. Then it will follow the principle of not performing with the sense gratification. Yes, it is still fulfilling the senses needs of sense, because needs of senses cannot be stopped. However, I'm not doing it for my sense gratification. It is just for performance of an action without any reaction. For example, you are hungry, right? We cannot simply say, "Oh, I'm trying to control. I'm trying to control. Let me not eat." No, that is not the case. Yes, I am hungry, but I will still eat. Try to find out which is best to eat, and then I will eat. My eyes want to see. My eyes is, I have to do the mobile. I have to, without checking the mobile, my hands will start shivering. If I don't go through the reels, in my hands, something would have happened. Jayapata Maharaj always say, nowadays mobile phone is like, baby put with a diaper, right? The diaper is there, but still every half an hour you will go and check whether the baby has passed to stool or urine. Okay, which is like, you don't have to worry. Whatever message comes, whatever reels comes, it will be there. Okay, but still the anxiety we create to go and check whether a message has come, whether something has come. So that is where we need to see how do we change our actions. That's all. Okay, please read, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, 20th one. त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. Purport. This freedom from the bondage of actions is possible only in Krishna consciousness when one is doing everything for Krishna. A Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he has no attraction for the results of the action. He is not even attached to his personal maintenance, for everything is left to Krishna. Nor is he anxious to secure things, nor to protect things already in his possession. He does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Such an unattached person is always free from the resultant reactions of good and bad. It is as though he were not doing anything. This is a sign of akarma, or actions without fruitive reactions. Any other action, therefore devoid of Krishna consciousness, is binding upon the worker, and that is the real aspect of vikarma as explained herein before. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madam. Swami Prabhu, you understood, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Let's continue. So we should not worry about, most importantly, we should not worry about fulfilling the need for gratifying the senses. Automatically, it will get fulfilled. Okay? The moment we think, okay, I have to satisfy my senses somehow or the other, so that it does not get, it will automatically get satisfied.
But Prabhuji, these things, I mean, generally we are in Krishna conscious, we are trying to understand all of this and we make sense of it. But people who are not in Krishna conscious, how to explain these things to them? Because these are very difficult. It's just binary for them. However, whatever we are seeing, it's not binary. It's not 0 or 1.
Okay. So in a simple way, in those days, how our ancestors do, yes, they will try to do a lot of punya karmas, this one and all. But at least at the end of the day, with lot of more love and affection, or with lot of this one, they will simply say Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Right? Any activity that they perform, okay. So they will, outwardly it might look like, oh, this yajna has been done, this purification process has been done. Outwardly they'll do, but how they would have been performing is, they would have just done, finally, more importantly, is offering everything to the Lord, right? So when you go and tell from a public preaching perspective, we cannot go and say, okay, you stop doing it. Like, it's not possible. So let them do it, but at least you take, finally, at least when you finish off everything, at least you just offer it to the Lord. with sincere gratitude that no, this opportunity was given, then the Krishna will take care. So Krishna gives a lot of what do you say, the different approaches, different ways. So this one way is do from the beginning, don't have that consciousness. But if you're not able to, at least okay, at the beginning, not there, that's okay. At the end, at least you just give up everything. Then at least the reactions will go away. So your motive was different, your goal was different, but at the end, when you just say Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu, knowingly or unknowingly also, they will be getting benefit.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I got one question. So we pray to Krishna so that it is all akarma. So at the time, some people like me also, we pray like Ganesh Chaturthi. So what is happened to them?
When we pray to Ganesha, the most importantly, what is that we are asking Ganesha is very important to remove obstacles for our bhakti. Okay, to remove obstacles so that it will help us to grow in our bhakti. That is absolutely okay.
What I mean to say that our family tradition, we bring the Ganesha right every year. So I mean we can keep continuing tradition, or what should be the approach?
Generally, there are two ways to see, Prabhu. If you're still following certain procedures, certain principles with faith, and then you are not fully into that understanding of accepting Krishna and then getting into this one, if you want to follow, you may continue to follow. There's no doubt about it. But once you are in a way where you have already understood the principles of what Prabhupada wants to give and what is the Krishna conscious movement and everything, you don't really need to do it. That is the answer.
Okay, another question like ISKCON, we normally pray to Radharani and Krishna, right? So some people pray in Maharashtra like Rukmini and Vitthal. So how about that? Is there any, is it still karma binding or karma binding?
No, Prabhu. Anything that is, for example, somebody following in Guruvayur in Kerala, or somebody following in Dwaraka, or somebody following in Rajasthan, they are following different sampradaya procedures. But within the sampradaya procedure, they are whether they are doing the principles laid down by that sampradaya, then definitely they'll have that result. There's no doubt about it. But what Krishna conscious philosophy, what we follow from Rupa Goswami, from the Brahma Madhya Sampradaya Gaudaya Sampradaya, we follow Sri Radha Krishna's footsteps of moving away from this material world through love and affection, through the particular rasa. That's all. Right. So every sampradaya will have their own ways of doing the devotion service, which will have the results accordingly. That's all. No doubt about it.
So, is it if you pray to Rukmini Vitthal, is it different?
No, there's no difference at all, Prabhu. There is no difference at all. There's no difference at all. But the way they want to perform, the goal might change. That's all.
Goal might change, yeah?
Goal, of course, will change. It depends upon what kind of activity that they wanted to perform, what kind of role or what is that they wanted to do. So it varies accordingly. That's all.
So is it in Krishna consciousness or not? If you pray like
it is definitely Krishna. Vittal Krishna. Vittal is Krishna. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt about it. So for example, they follow from a particular sampradaya. The result accordingly will be there. That's all. There's no doubt about it. It will also have good. There's nothing called this is bad, this is good, this is higher, this is low. Okay. Whomsoever following Krishna in their own way, they will definitely get the result. Only. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, just in that 4.18, the first line of the translation says action and inaction and inaction and action. Does that refer to Vikarma and Akarma?
So one who sees action, inaction, which means what? So I perform an action. How do I don't bind in it? Okay. So first one. Second one is action in inaction, which means I'm trying to do it is more from a akarmani perspective, which means you will not get into a vikarma perspective. That's all. Correct, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu, just to ask one more question. You say just no goal might change. So our goal is Krishna consciousness only, right? So what is our goal? To be in Krishna consciousness?
Be in Krishna consciousness is absolutely correct, Prabhu.
So what the goal will change, Prabhu?
Goal
That
will
will be
change, as I mentioned, no? Somebody following certain sampradaya, they have their way of performing devotion service where I want to follow Krishna and Radha Krishna, or I want to be in Dwaraka. For example, somebody following sampradaya where they are serving Shri Radha Krishna, sorry, Krishna with Dwaraka as Dwarakadish king, right?
okay.
Then which means what? He will not be able to get an opportunity to serve in Goloka, but he will be able to perform seva in Dwarka.
Okay.
Okay, so somebody performing, so as I mentioned, no, Rupa Goswami and our Sampradaya philosophy is Goloka Vrindavan, which means Krishna is there as Shyamsundra along with his cowherd friends, cowherd boys. We follow the Sampradaya where under Srimati Radharani there are so many gopis, Varishta gopis, Manjaris, Upa Manjaris, and our Sampradaya Acharyas follow and serve Radha Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So, for
Okay.
example, some Sampradaya will follow Lord Ram, right? Which means what? They will be able to perform their seva in Ayodhya. So accordingly, it will follow. That's all.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. That means you mean to say that it is a different planet, is it in either planet or
Yes, Krishna is there.
Lord?
Krishna expands in all the different traditions, right? So he is, for example, the Sri Sampradaya will follow Vaikuntha Loka. There are so much of millions of Vaikuntha Lokas, and we have Lakshmi Narayana in every Loka. So whomsoever has the desire to serve Lakshmi Narayana under the guidance of Lakshmi, Sri Sampradaya, then they will be the servant of the servant, and then they will follow that particular thing. That's all.
But all planets are same, right? Only the Rupa is different. Or
The purpose of all the Kriya prayers are same. Prabhu. It is where they are there. Purpose is always same. How to serve the Supreme Lord, how to be servant of the Lord, how to always remember the Lord and not forget the Lord. That's all. So the goal is always the same. So it all depends upon the mood and bhav of how it is wanted to have it, and then accordingly they are getting it. That's all.
okay, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Bhoji.
Hmm.
But just now you say same, but actually, if you see the planetary system, I think Golok Runda is on the top, correct? Then all this planetary system, because I seen some TOEP video, or they are constructing that way. Ki Golok Runda is on the top, and then other all these planetary systems. I'll not say below, but like hierarchy wise, Golok Runda is on top, correct?
So that is what I'm saying. So according to the Shastra Pramanam, they have designed TOP in this way so that they have it there. But in certain principles, we don't need to compare between whether this is the topmost and this is the secondary one, because the goal is always the same. And where do we reach? It depends. That's all. So we don't have to go by, okay, this is number one, this is number two, this is like lower one. No, we don't do that way.
Okay.
Dwaraka or Puri or Ayodhya or Ahobilam, everything is same. Okay. If you ask me Vaikuntha Loka, yes, it is there. So many will. So according to highest way of my achievement from a Sampradaya perspective, I want to achieve that, I have achieved it. Vaikuntha Loka, Vaikuntha Prapti. Some following Lord Shiva will achieve the highest. For them, what is highest? The highest is Shiva Loka Prapti. So according to, so we will not be able to say, oh, this is the topmost. No, nothing like that. Let us continue. Okay. Okay, let us continue. Okay, what was 20th slokas? This one? Freedom, abandoning all attachments of his activity. Okay, abandoning all attachments of activity. Okay, next one, 21. Mataji, is anybody? Or should I call out?
Hare Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
You want to read? Yes, Prabhu. Freedom of Prabhu.
निराशः यताशित आत्मा त्यक्ता सर्वा परिग्रहः शरीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वान्न अपिनोति किल्बिषाम्. Translation: purport by Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Gita. Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. Purport. A Krishna conscious person doesn't expect good or bad results in his activities. His mind and intelligence are fully controlled. He knows that because he is part and parcel of the Supreme, the part played by him as a part and parcel of the whole is not his own activity, but is only being done through him by the Supreme. When the hand moves, it doesn't move out of his own accord, but by the endeavor of the whole body. A Krishna conscious person is always devoted with the supreme desire, for he has no desire for personal sense gratification. He moves exactly like the part of a mission. A mission part requires oiling and cleaning for maintenance. So as a Krishna conscious man, maintain himself by his work just to remain fit for action in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. He is therefore immune to all the reactions of his endeavors. Like an animal, he has no proprietorship even over his own body. A cruel proprietor of an animal sometimes kills the animal in his possession, yet the animal doesn't protest, nor does it have any real independence. A Krishna conscious person fully engaged in self-realization has very little time to falsely possess any metal object. For maintaining body and soul, he doesn't require unfair means of accumulating money. He doesn't therefore become contaminated by such metal sins. He is free from all reactions to his actions. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice, important line Prabhupada is giving. As a machine part requires oiling and cleansing for maintenance. So a Krishna conscious man maintains himself by his work just to remain fit for action in transcendental. So any Krishna conscious person is working, yes, he is working. But what will be his way of working? It is not that, okay, I have to gather more money, I have to not more from a gaining more and more this one, just to remain fit. That's all. He will work. I know some doctors, I know certain devotees also, even in Singapore also, they don't continuously work like, no, they just follow like, okay, today I will just see only 4 patients, 3 patients. That is more than enough for me to survive, more than enough for me to give whatever activities that I want to do for Krishna consciousness. That's all. Right. So accordingly, that is what Prabhupada is also mentioning. As a machine part requires oiling and cleansing for maintenance, a Krishna conscious maintains himself by just to remain fit for an action. That's all. All that we have to do is we have to remain fit. So which means we have to be fit enough to do action. So we have whatever actions that is required to make ourselves fit, either healthily, mentally, physically, and materially also. Okay. So we have to work, but accordingly, we have to see how well we are able to do transcendental levels. Okay. So what is the understanding here? The man of understanding act with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled. We're giving up the proprietorship over possessions. Okay. And acts only for the bare necessity of life. Very nice point. Right. So what does Krishna wants to convey? Hey, you have to perform karma, but what is the need for performing karma? Just for bare necessities of life. So that it will not affect the, so this is because the more and more greed, more and more need for accumulation, more and more need for will lead to what? It will lead to envy, it will lead to greed, it will lead to more and more material entanglement. Or he is not, so therefore it will not affect his sinful reactions. Okay. And with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, give up all sense of proprietorship and possessions over. Okay, this is the next one. So from an Akarma perspective, this is the next thing that Krishna gives. Okay. 2 more slokas, then we'll take a small break. Okay, same thing. Okay, yeah, please read. Yadrisht. Okay, should I call somebody?
Can I clarify something, Prabhu? Hare Krishna?
Yeah, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, in the, I mean, this sloka, right? This walking, he is not affected by sinful reactions. I mean, translation by Prabhupada. So in general, how do we understand Prabhu? Because we have been doing a lot of things. Of course, not give up everything. It takes time. But whatever we do, right? So how do we understand that we don't have any sinful reactions in this context?
See, for certain actions, you will be immediately able to see the reaction. Immediately.
Yes, Prabhu.
Certain actions, it will take some time. After some time, you will get the realization. Okay. Then by your own experience, you might have done something some month ago or some months ago or some few weeks ago, which you might have continued to remember, you might have forgotten also. But when there is something happening, whether good or bad, okay, I'm just making it. It might be good or it might be bad also. Then you will realize, oh, this has happened because of this, would have happened because of that particular action that I would done. Okay, so it might happen after some time. The third is you will not even know. Okay, certain, for example, you are getting good things. Why are you getting good things now? Is because of sometimes for certain nice activities, the Krishna conscious absent-mindedly you might have done, and you're getting the benefits. So it might happen. The same way, if you apply the other side also, you might get some problem. Absent-mindedly, you might have done something. So for which we have to follow it. So all this knowledge is what is whenever you get the reaction, how do you face those reactions? That's all.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you. Right.
So today, for example, something happened, we are suffering. It might have happened for the immediate action, or some action some would have done some months ago, some weeks ago, some years ago, or from the previous karma also. That is why we may not be able to. Krishna himself says it is very complicated. Okay, so all that we have to see is if a reaction comes to us, something happens, then we have to see, oh, this has happened. It might be due to people always know it is all because of my karma. Correct?
Yes.
So all
Just
that we have to see is
just
accept it and go. That's all.
Yeah, because we don't know why some certain things are happening. So that's what I was trying to wonder actually. But we don't. I mean, I don't recall what happened in
We
the
will
past.
never. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There are some instant karma reactions also. That we will know. Immediately we will know. But there are some karma reactions which we don't know. Because the baggage has been there for many millions of years.
Just pray to Krishna and move on. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. That means now that we are a person in Krishna consciousness is trying to go back to Godhead, but he won't achieve that until all his karma, maybe millions of years, has been burnt out, and then only he can go back to Godhead.
Correct. That is what is the definition. Okay. But what Prabhupada is giving, that is what Krishna's definition. But Prabhupada gives a very important understanding. You can do it within the same life. Okay. So that is what Prabhupada is also giving us an assurance. It doesn't have to take millions and millions of years. I am giving you the opportunity. Once you start performing these things in a perfect way, whether it is for example, your life for it is there for another 40 years, another 50 years, another 20 years, another 10 years, whatever be it, if you do it with perfection, you are given an assurance. Okay. So Krishna's way of putting is kind of rules and regulations, and then say this is. But our acharyas are so merciful. Hey, Krishna has given the rule, but I know how to get those rules. Jump from one particular to 100 steps or 1,000 steps. He will do it for us. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So in this sloka, in the last section of this sloka, Krishna himself will say, don't get into too much of. See, these are all rules and regulations, right? But finally, he will conclude. Okay, all these things will be just like that done if you just surrender to me. Okay, so he will simply say this word. But how to surrender, what to surrender is the biggest thing that we are all trying to do. We are trying to surrender. That's all, right? So the moment we feel like we are 100% satisfied with all our actions, that we are dovetailing with Krishna and then following the Acharya's principle, that's all. Let's not worry too much about whether it will happen this, that, and all. Okay, all those worrying part and all, our forefathers, our ancestors, our Acharyas, they will take care and then they will follow us. That's all. Okay, please read.
Hare Krishna, I will read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yadacha santus यदच्चा लाभ संतुष्टो द्वंद्विता विमत्सरा समा सिद्धा असिद्धो कृत्वपि न निबद्धते. Synonyms: yadrachya, out of its own accord; lava, with gain; santushta, satisfied; dvandvatva, duality; atita, surpass; vimatsara, free from envy; sama, steady; siddhau, in success; asiddhau, failure; cha, also; kritva, doing; api, although; na, never; nibaddhati, becomes affected. Translation: he who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, he is never entangled although performing actions. Purport: a Krishna consciousness person does not make such endeavor even to maintain his body. He is satisfied with gains which are obtained of their own accord. He neither begs or nor borrows, but he labors honestly as far as is in his power, and is satisfied with whatever is obtained by his own honest labor. He is therefore independent in his livelihood. He does not allow anyone's service to hamper his own service in Krishna consciousness. However, for the service of Lord, he can participate in any kind of action without being disturbed by the duality of material world. The duality of material world is felt in terms of heat and cold, or misery and happiness. A Krishna consciousness person is above duality because he does not hesitate to act in a way for the satisfaction of Krishna. Therefore, he study both in success and in failure. These signs are visible when one is fully transcendental, fully is in fully in transcendental knowledge. Hare Krishna. Bhai.
Thank you. Okay. So what is Krishna saying? He who is satisfied with gain which comes on its own accord, which is free from dvanda mohitaha. Okay. Dvanda vasito vimarshitaha. Dvanda means dualities. What? Atita vimarshitaha. So it is free from envy. Somehow siddhau asiddhau. So like dualities have got this heat and cold, happiness, distress, gain or loss, whatever be it, he is away, or he is able to be steady in both success and failure. So for how to perform akarma, you perform it, whether it is a failure also it's okay, whether it is a success also it's okay. So that way Krishna is giving that answer. Okay.
Hare Prabhuji. I mean, previous Prabhupada explains one. I mean, how do you say? We have to maintain our body to serve Krishna. I mean, here in this purport, I mean, just what I understand, the Krishna conscious person doesn't make much endeavor even to maintain his body. I mean, the point is we need to take care of body to serve Krishna, right? In this, I mean, just how do we understand? I mean, purport.
Yeah, right, Prabhu. There are multiple understanding. One is, yeah, I have to work because in the third chapter we saw, right? Just for maintenance of the body, at least somebody has to work. That is what Krishna says in third chapter, right? He mentioned very clearly, you have to perform work at least to maintain your body. So, which means you have to definitely work. There's no question about it for maintaining the body. But how to maintain that body is to see that the body is served for all all the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. All the actions are dovetailed for the Lord. Then body is also fit. Body is also maintained automatically. At the same time, Krishna is also satisfied. Or Krishna is also happy. So what do you say? It solves both the purposes. That's all.
Okay, bro.
Yeah, I have one question. I mean, I'm not able to frame it properly in my mind, but I'll try to speak. So when we say that we are in devotional service, we are chanting the mantra, we are burning our sanchit karma. But prarabdha is something that we will have to endure, good or bad, in this life. And what prarabdha is like, it is set that what diseases will we get and when we will die. So when we pray to God, I mean, earlier when we were not in Krishna consciousness, we pray to any God, we just ask for, health and family and everything. But when we are in Krishna conscious, we are aware of all those things. We know what prarabdha is. And when we pray to Krishna that, please maintain the health of our family. And on the other side, as per prarabdha, I mean, your health is kind of already defined before we even born, like, what disease will you get at what time and all of that stuff. So how does that help when we pray to Krishna that please maintain the health of my body or my family's health, whereas our prarabdha is already set with the kind of health we will have in this life?
Krishna is superior authority. Okay. Even though our karma is destined that I should come to us, but when we pray to the Lord, Krishna will nullify our karma's reactions. Or Krishna will reduce the reactions of that karma. Okay. So he will know what exactly how much of suffering that we need to do. Okay. So certain reactions he would have definitely removed. There's no doubt about it. Certain reactions he will see that yes, you still undergo because it will help you to remember more, or he will help you to do more devotion service, then he will give this. So for a Krishna conscious person, whether a suffering or what do you say, or a enjoyment, he will take both in the same way. So when a suffering comes, a Krishna conscious person will say, okay, yes, I have to do this because Krishna has given to me so that I'll be able to remember him, I'll do more seva. Oh, Krishna has given me this wonderful enjoyment, I am able to enjoy this. Okay, this again is also because it's Krishna's mercy only. In that way, a Krishna conscious person will be able to see both in the same sign. And no doubt, when we pray to Krishna, we always say, please help me to remove all my karma reactions. Okay, that he will definitely do. You don't even have to ask. You all have to ask is, karma, please help me to serve you more. That's all. Whatever that is going to come, whatever is going to get destroyed, everything he will take care.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very helpful.
So this, what is this? Corona period is a wonderful example, right? Of course, everybody suffered many death and but for some it was very good opportunity. They were able to this one. So in a way, it gave a lot of life lessons during the Corona period. How much of impact, how much of thing that we are able to tolerate, we are able to withstand, we are able to overcome. Of course, there were a lot of losses. There's no doubt about it. But but it gave a very wonderful opportunity for us to just to see what is that we are able to take and what is that we are not able to take also. So that is absolutely fine. Okay, the work of a man. Please read this translation.
The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. Purport: becoming fully Krishna conscious, one is freed from all dualities and thus is free from the contaminations of the material modes. He can become liberated because he knows his constitutional position in relationship with Krishna, and thus his mind cannot be drawn from Krishna consciousness. Consequently, whatever he does for Krishna, who is the primeval Vishnu. Therefore, all his works are technically sacrifices because sacrifice aims at satisfying the Supreme Person, Vishnu, Krishna. The resultant reactions to all such works suddenly merge into transcendence, and one does not suffer material effects. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So unattached to the modes of material nature. So this is the another one that is saying, okay. Gata sangasya muktasya jnana avastitaha. Okay. Jnana avastita means sitting in that particular form. So how do we do? Acharatha karma samgraham pravilyate. So which means when he is beyond the modes. Okay. So once he is beyond the modes and fully satisfied with the knowledge, he will be able to understand. Okay. We'll finish the 24th sloka and take a small break.
Prabhuji, can I ask a small question for
Yes,
the
ma'am.
previous person? Prabhuji, the term merges into transcendence. What's the exact meaning here? Is it like the reactions are completely absorbed taken away by the Lord, or how do we understand this?
Merges into transcendence in one way is he will be beyond the material modes, which means either the Rajoguna, Sattoguna, Tamoguna will be go away and he will be in the Shuddha Sattva, which means he will not, even though something is coming, he will not be able to see whether it is really suffering or really it is enjoyment. So the efforts he will not get into that effect at all. For example, Jayapanda Maharaj is having outwardly, if somebody sees, my God, but actually he is not in that particular state of this at all, right? So from a material perspective, outwardly it might look different, but internally it is beyond the material. So the word transcendence here refers to the three gunas. So merge entirely into means it will go into that and then it will not get any kind of reaction at all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Sorry, just one short question. This it is said over here, unattached to the modes of material nature. Is it within our capacity, a normal person's capacity to get unattached to the modes of nature because they are the controlling features for us?
Yeah, Prabhu. Good question. It is not possible. Okay. So because we are Baddha Atmas, it is very difficult to come out of the modes. So there is a section that is in the 7th chapter, sorry, in the 17th chapter, in the 14th chapter, very detailedly, it will talk about all the modes, and Krishna will also give an answer how to come out of those modes. So it is possible. It's not that it is not possible, but it is difficult. So Krishna himself says, yes, it is difficult. But if you follow certain procedure, certain way, then you can scale up from one mode to another mode, and then another mode to the top mode, from 3 to 2, 2 to 1. And then how to be in Nishta, how to be in that particular mode itself is very difficult. But if you start practicing it, then you will be able to come out of that mode. So Krishna will give that solution also.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, we'll take a small break, then come back at 9:45, 9:47. Continue with this nice sloka, Brahma Arpanam Brahma. This is very nice sloka. Continue. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Sloka number 24. The sloka is beautifully structured. The word Brahma, Brahman or Brahma is what do you say? Krishna utilizes the word same Brahma in different aspects to mention or convey a very specific, fantastic message. Okay. What is that message is understand Brahma is one aspect. And then understand Brahma as the supreme is one aspect. Understand Brahma as the spiritual energy, as the spiritual portion is one aspect. Understand Brahma as a spirit soul or as an Atma is one aspect. And Brahma, Brahma Bona Lokan Punaravadu. Brahma is also in one way the energy manifested as the spiritual world or spiritual this one. So the word remains the same, but beautifully Krishna uses this word to understand different perspective. First perspective is Brahma is the spiritual understanding, spiritual word, a spiritual nature of it, which means it is beyond the material understanding. That is first question. Second question is that Brahma is also the Supreme Lord, because Supreme Lord's energy manifestation is coming. Third, that spiritual Brahman is also is kind of in a way where the Jivatmas are also related, which means the Brahman from a Brahman realization perspective, Jivatmas are also part of it. And the same Brahman or the large energy is beyond the material world, beyond this one, which is like where you get the spiritual understanding, or the spiritual kingdom, or the lokam, or the world which is above that. So in every aspect so this loka from a normal Mayavada philosophy, this is the best because this gives that Brahman understanding. Yes, this is the topmost. So in one way it is correct, but is it the full completeness, or is it the entire? It is the entirety or the complete final goal. From our Sampradaya perspective, there is beyond that also. Okay, if you ask whether Krishna is Brahman, yes, it is definitely Krishna is Brahman. But whether Brahman is the final realization, no. Beyond Brahman realization, we have the Bhagavan realization also. Okay, so that is where we need to be very clear. Okay, other Sampradayas will follow very specifically on this particular sloka, making that as the most important aspect, where Brahma Arpanam. Arpanam means offering. Okay. And how do we do with Havi and Agnav? Agnav means Havi Agnav. Havi Agnav means with a little bit of butter and Agni. Okay. By a Brahman, by a particular person, by a spirit soul, by an Atma. Okay. Definitely, when somebody does an action with an action here means an yajna or a sacrifice performed with that real understanding, what is the benefit? Brahma eva tena gantavyam Brahma agnav, which means he will be able to go beyond this material world. He will achieve that spiritual kingdom. Okay, so that is the understanding. So what is the main understanding? A person with full spiritual understanding, the Brahman realization, and performing an action which is satisfying the Brahman, which means I am performing an action with complete sacrifice with the Brahma Agna, which means with butter and the fire, I am offering that particular reactions of the actions. What is the achievement? What will be this one? He will get the same spiritual result. So in one sense, whatever that I try to perform for the satisfaction of the Brahman, for the personal civilization, I will be able to get the same level of that particular position. Okay, that is what the meaning is. Okay, so be very clear about the understanding of the meaning. This is a little complicated to understand, but how do you understand? In a very simple way, Prabhupada is also making a person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, meaning he will be able to attain that spiritual Brahma kingdom, that particular location. But how he will do, which is when he is offered with that, when he does that particular action with an offering. With an offering means with full devotion. In a simple way, with you do anything with a full devotion to the supreme, then it will become easy for him to achieve. Okay. Yeah, please read the purport. So maybe before this, we can, this is the final sloka. We'll finish this sloka and then come for a summary. Quickly read.
How activities in Krishna consciousness can lead one ultimately to the spiritual goal is described here. There are various activities in Krishna consciousness, and all of them will be described in the following verses. But for the present, just the principle of Krishna consciousness is described. A conditioned soul entangled in the material contamination is sure to act in that material atmosphere, and yet he has to get out of such an environment. The process by which the conditioned soul can get out of the material atmosphere is Krishna consciousness. For example, a patient who is suffering from a disorder of the bowels due to overindulgence in milk products is cured by another milk product, namely curds. The materially absorbed conditioned soul can be cured by Krishna consciousness as set forth here in Gita. This process is generally known as yajna or activities, sacrifices, simply meant for the satisfaction of Vishnu or Krishna. The more activities of material world are performed in Krishna consciousness or for Vishnu only, the more atmosphere becomes spiritualized by complete absorption. The word Brahman, means spiritual. The Lord is spiritual, and the rays of his transcendental body are called Brahma Jyoti, his spiritual effulgence. Everything that exists is situated in that Brahma Jyoti. But when the Jyoti is covered by illusion, Maya, or sense gratification, it is called material. This material veil can be removed at once by Krishna consciousness. Thus, the offering for the sake of Krishna consciousness, the consuming agent of such an offering or contribution, the process of consumption, the contributor, and the result are all combined together. Brahman or the absolute truth. The absolute truth covered by Maya is called matter. Matter, dovetailed for the cause of the absolute truth, regains its spiritual quality. Krishna consciousness is the process of covering the illusory consciousness into Brahman or the Supreme. When the mind is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, it is said to be in samadhi or trance. Anything done in such transcendental consciousness is called yajna or sacrifice for the absolute. In that condition of the absolute, in that condition of spiritual consciousness, the contributor the contribution, the consumption, the performer or the leader of the performance, and the result of ultimate gain, everything becomes one in the absolute, the supreme Brahman. That is the method of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thanks, Prabhu. So let's quickly a little bit spend some time on this particular. This is very nice sloka. This is the conclusion of the section where Krishna will talk about various aspects of how to perform akarma, and then concludes with this particular sloka. Okay, after this sloka, it will take into a different way where he will talk about different types of yajna. Okay, then he will talk about different types of dana, then different types of tapasya and all those. Yajna, dana, tapasya will start from this 25th sloka. Devam eva pare yajnam. So these slokas will start. Okay, but this is the conclusion section of this particular akarma activity. So what is from the sloka perspective, what is very saying? The goal of achieving the spiritual kingdom or the Brahman, which is also kind of a Brahman because that is from the Supreme Lord, is performed by a person who has the highest knowledge of performing an yajna or performing a sacrifice with the knowledge that it is all for that Brahman, which means all for that Supreme Person of Godhead. So actions are also in a spiritual way, and offering is also spiritually offered, which means we are not attached to it, and it goes to that spiritual Supreme Person who is also the Brahman. So in a way, the word Brahma can be differentiated. But most importantly, what is that thing? If he is able to do it, he will achieve the highest result of going back to the Godhead. Okay. From a simple understanding, this sloka's ultimate goal, you perform things in Krishna consciousness, perform yajna. Yajna here means sacrifice. Not really the physical sacrifices of you create on homakundam or homakund and then do swaha. That is one aspect of understanding. But the other aspect of understanding is arpanam. Arpanam means contribution, okay, or giving it out. Then, so it can be your giving it out can be your time, your energy, your knowledge, your physical efforts, your mental offering, whatever be it, it will all be the same thing. Okay, it all depends upon the consciousness of the person who is doing that arpanam. Okay, so today I'm physically not able to do, but at least let me do a mental offering, very sincere offering. That is absolutely fine. But tomorrow, if I'm able to do a physical offering, yes, you have to do a physical offering. So it all depends upon the person who is trying to do the arpanam activity. So he also becomes spiritually enlivened. Offering is also spiritual. It goes to the supreme spiritual entity. And what is the benefit? Benefit is also spiritual, which means it is beyond the material or beyond the material understanding. Okay. And Prabhupada is talking about very clearly about yajna. Prabhupada is also talking about this. He gives a very nice analogy about this bowel disorder, right? So if we are not feeling well, or the source is milk, and the cure is also from the milk only. So does it mean that milk is that? No. But overindulgence in the word Prabhupada brings out is overindulgence. Okay, which means what we know what is the problem in us. But because of overindulgence of certain things, we are misusing it, misappropriately using. And this one. What is the result? Result is also we have to go for the same thing only. Okay, so from the same milk product, we start eating more and more, we'll get stomach disorder. But what is the cure? It is from the same milk product, we have to take curd. Right, that's all. So same way, everything is from that Krishna conscious way of understanding. Everything, the source remains the same. But how do we utilize, how do we put it perfectly? It all depends upon the person. And that person, if he is more from a consciousness that will lead to that spiritual Brahman, that lead to the Krishna conscious way, that will lead to a clear understanding, he will be not only not entangled, but he will also get an opportunity to go beyond the material. He will be getting an opportunity to go to the spiritual world. Okay. So Prabhupada gives a nice understanding, the material wheel or this, the so-called sense gratification portion with automatic. Amit Prabhu was asking, how do I move out of it? Once you do the offering as absolutely important. Okay. The absolute truth is covered by Maya is called matter. Matter dovetailed for the cause of absolute regains its spiritual quality. How do we understand? Any example? Any example?
Prabhuji, when we eat sweets, we eat sweets because I like it. But if I offer it to Krishna first, then I take it, then it becomes prasadam.
Correct. But that, in that also, we have to be very clear how much we are supposed to take. It is not that, okay, it becomes spiritual, I take everything. No, that is also incorrect. Yes. Okay, anything else? Any other example? See, this laptop you are sitting, this phone you are using is also a matter. Okay. It is completely covered by Maya. It has got everything that is required for us to get into sense gratification. The same mobile phone, the same laptop that we are using right now for the class also. But when it is dovetailed for the absolute truth, when you are sitting here, when you are able to sit here for this 1 hour, 2 hours, it becomes spiritual quality. Right? So that is where we can see every matter can be converted to spiritual, provided it is dovetailed. It is for the cause of the understanding of the spiritual. So Prabhupada is giving that solution that Krishna consciousness is the process of converting all these material things into spiritual way. And so that is performed too as an yajna. Yajna means a sacrifice for the absolute person. So from a preaching perspective, this sloka is also very important. You can take it up because this sloka, if you go to any other missions, I have done with, I've taken up discussions with Chinya mission, with Ramachandra mission, other missions also, even Ramakrishna mission, Ramachandra mission. Everybody will glorify this sloka. And because this gives a very definite outcome. But from a Krishna conscious philosophy, we need to be very clear what is that he's trying to do. Okay.
So is it correct to say, Prabhuji, that other sampradayas see this shloka solidifying the impersonal aspect of the God?
Correct. The Brahman is the final thing. So the Lord doesn't have any, Lord is an energy manifestation. He can take up any form as required. And that is the final goal. That is the final aspect. That is what is, which is in one way correct, but it is partially correct. It is not fully correct. That's all.
This, this sloka talks about Supreme also, right? Supreme is what we understand is Krishna.
Correct. So the Brahma here, that's why I said Brahma arpanam, Brahma havi. Okay, the Supreme here means that sacrifice that is given to that yajna purusha or the who is going to take up the sacrifice, who are going to accept the sacrifice is again the yajna purusha or the Brahma.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. So my suggestion, just go read the sloka again and again. You will get a very clear understanding how beautifully Krishna uses the same word I told you, but in a way it is brought out is also very nice, and Prabhupada also giving a the solution part of it. Okay. Okay. So this concludes the section. Let's quickly do one quick recap. Okay. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Krishna gives this
Yes.
Krishna gives beautifully this 10 main points. We saw some 10 slokas. Okay, first sloka, we started with how to perform actions following the previous disciples. Then second is how to analyze a particular action. So use your intelligence, use your brains. Okay. Certain times we just follow one aspect. Certain times if we feel like, oh, we are not able to get one, then because then Krishna will give the solution. The action of analysis and subsequent reaction. And then understand that relationship. Okay. So once we get to that understanding, see, these are all the steps of gaining knowledge in one sense. Okay. So then the fourth is what? Divide of desire for sense gratification. Don't get into performance of an actions for your own sense gratification. You will anyway have to perform action, but don't do it for your own sense gratification. Fifth is what? When you perform an action, you will get a result, and just don't get to the attachment to the result. I have to get this one only. I have to get only A. If I get B, I will not accept. Okay, that is also wrong. So don't get into attachment. You abandon or you just disregard or discard that particular item. Sixth is what? Apply your mind and intelligence with perfectly controlled senses. Give up the sense of proprietorship. Yes, nirmama, nirahankara, nispriha. Three things will be welcome. Okay, in the coming sections we will talk about. Nirmama, nirahankara, nispriha. Nispriha is the desire portion. Nirmama is mind. Ahankar, okay, which means with the envy, yes, this is only for me, this is one. So if you move away with these three nir portions, then the sense of proprietorship will go away. And then what Prabhupada specifically mentions, act only for the bare necessity. Krishna himself says, act with only for the bare necessities of life, which is more than sufficient. Fifth is what? Either good or bad, either labha, okay, jaya, whatever be it, you will be able to save. So that is performance. Then ninth is don't get into the too much of attack into material, because material modes are so strong. It will try to carry away in whatever way it will try to pull. In the coming sections of Bhagavad Gita, we will see how Satoguna will go up. Then suddenly Rajoguna will come and pull Satoguna. Then Tamoguna will go up. Then Rajoguna will pull Tamoguna. So like this, the supremacy among the three will be there. Even for us, within a particular day, we will see all the three gunas rotating. Okay, so that is where we need to see how to come out of it. And then last is offer it as a sacrifice. So this is where Krishna makes it very clear. Have the knowledge of karma, have the knowledge of akarma, have the knowledge of vikarma. Vikarma, he is not going to very clear. But performance of akarma is more important, because that will give liberation. That will give you move away from this material world and take us to the spiritual understanding. How to perform? Perform this with the knowledge. What is the knowledge? Through all these 10 aspects. Okay, clear? Any doubt? Next section onwards, he will quickly jump about specifically about performance of yajna, performance of sacrifice, performance of dana, and then tapasya also. Mainly these two will come. Dana also we can take up later, but performance of tapasya and yajna is very clear. So he has concluded in the previous section, you have to perform an action as an yajna only, as a sacrifice, as an arpanam. Okay, arpanam. So how to perform those in different modes, different ashramas will come in this section. Okay, we'll try to take up 2-3 slokas to it, another 2 slokas, and then conclude for today. Or is it enough today? We will stop.
I think it's enough for me.
Okay.
That's good. 24 is a bit complex, so.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, bro. You can stop.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Krishna Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Dandavat pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat
Thank you,
pranam.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Pranam,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you so much. தேங்க்யூ பிரபுஜி. ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா.
ஹரி போல் கார்த்திக் பிரபு, உங்களுக்கு புரியுறதா சொல்றதெல்லாம்?
நல்லாவே புரியுது பிரபுஜி.